What's up, guys? Welcome back to Healthy Recipe. We're going to be making a simple zoodles recipe today, but I'm going to elevate it a little bit. We're going to add quite a few of little extra ingredients that I had laying around. I was just going to make myself a real simple lunch with some leftover noodles that I had from a presentation I did on the zoodle maker. But I figured I would film a video and show you guys how you could easily make yourself a really delicious lunch if you choose to, with just some simple ingredients from around the house or the fridge. So let's get right to work. All right, so just a quick disclaimer. You guys could easily make this a very delicious recipe with just the zoodles, a little bit of butter, garlic, olive oil, and then some parsley if you wanted to throw that in. But as you guys know, I always like to mess around with ingredients. I like to make food really flavorful and full of layers. So I went a little bit beyond just a plain simple meal. I added a couple of little extra things. Nothing major. This is all household stuff that most of you already have in the fridge. So let me begin here by explaining what I got. This is some organic shredded carrots. I just had these in the fridge. I use this on quite a few different things, mainly because they're really good for you, and also that they add some beautiful color to boring recipes, and they're full of nutrients. I have some zoodles here that I had from an unboxing that I did for another video, so I figured I was gonna make myself lunch. So I figured I would film it for you guys and just show you what I'm doing. I have some Parmesan cheese, fresh, and of course Kerrygold butter. I have 2 slices of uncured bacon. Can't leave out the garlic, of course. I got 3 cloves fresh garlic, some small grape tomatoes, olive oil, organic, of course. I got some cooking wine and some fresh parsley. So that's basically what we're gonna use. First thing we gotta do is we're gonna chop up some of our ingredients that we need to, and also get the Kerrygold and some olive oil over in our pan. Okay, so with the parsley, I'm just gonna mince a small piece. This is just a serving for myself, so not a whole lot of parsley. Alright, we'll set that aside. Trying to work quickly here. Garlic. I always like to cut the ends. And this is just going to be a rough chop. It doesn't have to be anything special or fancy. You always want to remove like any brown spots on the garlic like that, because that'll actually taste pretty bad. Alright, so just going to give this a rough chop and just set it aside. Then we're going to do our tomatoes. And basically just gonna cut these into 4s down the middle, and then into again. And the tomatoes actually have a really beneficial synergistic effect when you cook them with olive oil. Actually, it increases the amount of lycopene that's in the tomato. I don't know why, but that's apparently how you get the most lycopene out of tomatoes or tomato sauce. Lycopene, if you guys didn't know, is a component found in tomatoes that helps with prostate cancer. They sell it as a supplement for men, and also it helps with other types of cancer. It's like a really good antioxidant, disease preventive. So if you guys cook your tomatoes in olive oil, not too hot, remember, under 350 degrees, you get that effect where it produces more lycopene. So that's our tomatoes. Those are basically done. Now we're gonna do our bacon. And the bacon, I'm just gonna cut right down the middle. Just want to make kind of like little pieces, like almost like bacon bits. And I want to render the fat to kind of get that flavor into our zoodles. Almost like a carbonara, but not quite. There we go. And actually, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to render this bacon over in our pan before adding any oil. Okay, so first thing we're going to start with is our pan at, I'm going to start at 340 degrees. So remember, we don't want to go above 350 with the olive oil. This is still plenty hot. About a tablespoon of olive oil, a tablespoon of butter. Now, if you're doing keto, this is great. You know, we got pretty good amount of fat on here, plus the bacon. If you're not doing keto and you're watching your calories or watching your fat intake, then you could add less, or you could actually leave out the butter. I'm adding the butter to add a little bit of creaminess and also as an emulsifier here, and also for flavor. But like I said, if you guys are not doing keto and if you're watching your fat, you could easily leave some of this out. You could even leave the bacon out and it will still be pretty low fat. I'm not using a huge amount of fat here. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and throw our bacon in. Oh, this already smells amazing before the bacon's even cooking. Just the butter and the olive oil combination. Alright, next we're going to go in with our garlic. And let that heat up a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and drop in our tomatoes. Remember, the tomatoes are cold, and if you drop them in right now, the bacon's not going to get really cooked nicely. You just kind of want to render it before adding the tomatoes, which are cool, and it's going to cool off the pan some. We're not cooking with terribly high heat here, you know, 340 degrees. Like a medium high. Tomatoes also are going to help us to remove some of that crust that's on the bottom of the pan to deglaze it, because they're cold and they have that tomato juice, and it's going to bring up a whole bunch of flavor from the bottom. As you can see, it's developing a little crust down here, and that's some of that fat that is sticking. So once we drop the tomatoes and we begin to stir, it's going to become like a nice sauce as it pulls up that flavor. So that magic begins to happen. We're also making that lycopene from the olive oil and tomato combination. Gonna let this go just a little bit just to deglaze and get those tomatoes softened up. And then we're gonna add our carrots and a little bit of cooking wine. I don't want to go too crazy with the carrots. Just want to add enough to get a little bit of orange in there, and also the texture and some extra vitamins. I try to use ingredients for multi-purposes, not only for looks and flavor, but also for nutrition. That's the reason why we call healthy recipes. So we try to always have stuff that's functional for different diets and serves the purpose besides just looking pretty. Alright, so now we're going to drop a little bit of our parsley, stir it in, and we're going to leave some for a garnish at the end. And our zoodles are just going to get tossed and just stirred around, because if not, these guys will become mush. And that's one thing that you guys always want to be careful when using zucchini in any recipe. Zucchini is a very, very delicate vegetable, and it cooks. You can cook it by looking at it. So we got our base all set up. Now our last thing is a little bit of cooking wine. Let that reduce a little bit. You could even do this with seafood. You could do it with shrimp, chicken. You know, so many different things you could use instead of bacon. It's just really, really good. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and drop our zoodles in. Boom. Quick toss. I'm going to turn off the heat already. That's how quick these guys cook. Right? Alright, now get ready to serve this on our plate, and we're going to put a little bit of that parsley and a little bit of Parmesan cheese over it. Get ready to eat. Alright guys, so now we're going to go ahead and serve this. A beautiful zucchini noodles with that fresh sauce, just like that. Look how beautiful that looks. All that color, not to mention flavor. Oh my goodness. Talk about a beautiful, beautiful recipe. I mean, look at all that beautiful color, guys. I mean, that's amazing. I'm gonna go ahead and drop our cheese first, just to give it some nice extra creaminess, right? Just like that. Look at that, guys. Now we're gonna do our little parsley, add some freshness, some beautiful color, right? And you got yourself a beautiful, beautiful dish. So there it is, guys. There is my zucchini noodle recipe with garlic, olive oil, and butter sauce and bacon. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please give us a thumbs up if you liked it. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys really soon on the next one. Okay guys, so my favorite part of the videos, this is the part where I get to try the food that I've made for you guys. I really, really feel bad that you can't be here to try this. This smells incredible. Wow, just the smell of garlic and butter with bacon, it just smells amazing. You can't deny that. I forgot that the parsley was in there. It's just amazing, so fresh. The smokiness of the bacon, the garlic coming right through. I can taste that cooking wine in there. Adds a little bit of like sour, but not really. It just adds that extra flavor. This is so good. It actually reminds me a little bit of like a shrimp scampi without the shrimp. It's got the smokiness of the bacon instead, but the parsley and the butter, the olive oil, garlic, the combination is just delicious. The texture is perfect. It has a little bit of snap. It's not overcooked or mushy. Absolutely delicious. You guys don't have to use as many ingredients, but this is just something that you could easily make, and it will fill you up, and it's very keto friendly or low carb.